Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the True Crime King has returned. Ladies and gentlemen, how we doing? The King is back, guys. True Crime King is back. What's up, guys? Welcome back to True Crime King, the best, the coolest reaction true crime channel out there. I said, if they say something else about me and they want the smoke, I'm gonna bring it to them. And next time, I'm not gonna stop. So we'll see. The ball's in their court now. Ladies and gentlemen, how we doing? The King is back with you. Morning, guys. True Crime King back. Where she is, dude. To have sexual relations with this creepy ass clown. This is gonna be a great video, or it's gonna be pretty crazy. So hit the like and subscribe button, buckle your seatbelts, and get ready. Let's go.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Drunk Turkey Show.
What's up, guys? How we doing? It's Clown Wednesday. Ding, 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 ding. And guess who's the clown? It's not me. It's the other guy on the screen right now. So every Wednesday, I'm going to be doing a Drunk Turkey reaction. So in this week's episode, which is episode number 1, officially. So, Kohberger, police corruption, could get off on technicality or framed, question mark. That's the title of the video. And I want you guys to play a game with me. Every time Daniel messes up a word when he starts reading, and I have to pause the video to fix the word, take a shot or do 210 push-ups or do something, or just count and see how many times and put it in the comments. Winner gets a prize. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but the winner gets a prize if you can count every time I have to pause the video to fix Daniel's mistakes. So here we go.
We got a little bit of breaking news. So released by the docket.
Oh, and we got breaking news, as you just heard.
Was some more court documents referencing the Kohberger case. 80 plus pages of redacted warrants, more on Twitter, Google, such and such. We're going to go through those pieces of documents.
Notice he doesn't say that his videos get demonetized anymore like he always used to. And I always used to, call him out on it. He's not saying that anymore. A lot of the things that he was used to saying, he's not saying anymore. I wonder why, right?
Tomorrow in our live. So make sure you subscribe. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you ring that notification bell. That way you're
ring that notification bell and subscribe to True Crime King. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate you.
Notified of our content and when we go live. But also a part of that was a piece of paperwork talking about Brady. That's a big word. That's a big case. Brady rule, that means that there could be some evidence that might indicate that Kohberger is actually innocent in this case. Let's get into the documents. So let's look at it. So this is from the District Court of the 2nd Judicial District, the state of Idaho, and then for the county of
Latah County.
The state of Idaho plaintiff versus Bryan Christopher Kohberger. Comes now the state of Idaho by and through the Latah County Prosecuting Office, Attorney's Office, and respectfully gives notice to court and counsel that state that has become aware of potential Brady and Giglio.
What do you say? Giglio?
Material related to one of the officers involved in the above referenced case. That material in the form of a confidential internal affairs investigation is hereby submitted in camera to the court. The state intends to disclose this information to defendant's counsel, but because this information is confidential and exempt from the public disclosure pursuant to Idaho Code 74-106, 1, personnel records. The state respectfully pays the issuance of...
Well, it says praise. Prays.
A protective order pursuant to the Idaho Criminal Rule 16.1, prohibiting defense counsel from disseminating the information contained in the internal affairs investigation absent further of order to the court, respectfully submitted on this...
It doesn't say to.
24th day of March 2023. And so let's look at this document as it pertains. So somebody here did something they weren't supposed to. Now, Brady means, from my understanding of it, is when the prosecution has evidence that would prove innocence against a defendant and they don't hand that over. Giglio is a little bit more of a difference. And so in that case, from what I understand, is there was a witness that went against Giglio, and it was a confidential informant. There's another big confidential informant word. And apparently that witness...
What's so big about that, Dan?
...wasn't as credible as possible. Now, when you put these two together and the way they put this together, material related to one of the officers involved in the above case, I believe what they're trying to say is that perhaps maybe an officer did something impractical or illegal.
And it doesn't say confidential informant. It says in the form of a confidential internal affairs investigation. Where does it say informant? It doesn't.
Planted evidence, maybe. Something that not only maybe compromised, or maybe hid something like that, proved that Kohberger was innocent, and thus, questioning his credibility, and that's why you would put two together. But let's look at...
Yeah, let's look at the rest before you start coming up with these theories, I mean, we're on the first fucking paragraph, Dan.
What both of these are. And so...
okay, so he's already had this pulled up. So, obviously, he's already read and should have just pulled this up straight away, but... yeah, so he already knew what this was, but he still didn't really know. He couldn't explain it to us.
What is Brady Gilligo? Gilligo or Brady is a list or a list compiled, usually a prosecutor's office or a police department's containing of the names and details of law enforcement officers who have or had sustained incidents of untruthfulness, criminal convictions, candor issues, or other some type of placing their credibility into question. So basically what I just said, that perhaps maybe the officer did something.
All right, I can't pay attention when he's talking. Let me see what... So, Giglio or Brady list is a list compiled usually by a prosecutor's office or a police department containing the names and details of law enforcement officers who have had sustained incidents of untruthfulness, criminal convictions, candor issues, or some other type of issue placing their credibility into question. So, when a police officer makes a huge mistake, that's a big mistake. I mean, they either lie or they've been convicted of a misdemeanor or a felony, something criminal, or some other type of issue that places their credibility into question, along the lines of lying or not telling the whole truth, or along those lines. That's basically what this list is talking about.
That question, their credibility. I think there was a question.
But if you look below, it says, what is the difference between Giglio and Brady? In Brady versus Maryland, the United States Supreme Court held that prosecutors must provide exculpatory information to defense counsel. And in Giglio versus United States, it extended the holding to include information suggesting a witness may not be credible. So that is the difference between the two. It says it right there at the bottom. But Daniel's trying to explain it to you, but it's right there.
Questioning one of the officers was hunting down a wolf, I believe, and I think he was reported for that. Whether or not that's legal or not in that state, however, if it was illegal in that state and he was hunting down a wolf, then and he was conducting an illegal activity, and he was a major component of this investigation, that can hinder the investigation based on that officer's activity. We'll put that out there, and that could be a reason why that this is there. Let's see. Let's understand Brady and Gilligo. Civilian oversight role. In
Giglio.
Brady versus Maryland, the United States Supreme Court held prosecutors must provide.
Yeah, this is just what I just read. Yeah.
Explanatory information to defense counsel, and in Gilligo versus the United States, it extended
Giglio
the holding to include information suggesting a witness may not be credible. And so, like I said, there's a couple of ways we can look at this, but another confidential informant reference.
Okay, go back to the first page. It didn't say confidential informant.
I do want to bring that up in this situation.
Daniel, it did not say confidential informant, man.
Many law enforcement agencies and district attorneys' offices have created Brady list of officers whose disciplinary or testimonial history must be disclosed if they are called to testify. But some lists and some protocols may have been criticized and as inadequate. This presentation will set forth the legal standards for what prosecutors must disclose about officers' histories under Brady and Gilligo, and what roles civilian oversight professionals can play.
All right. We get this. Get to how it pertains to Kohberger, Dan.
Improving. Police disclosure procedures. And
nobody, we already know. We've been through this.
Ensuring that the defendants get information which they are entitled. And so, basically,
this is so boring to watch. Just this. I don't know how you just watched Daniel.
They're supposed to give off that information. Now let's look at Gilligo versus the United States.
Dan, this was just on the other page. You could have just what I just read. Why are you reading this 3 times?
John Gilligo was convicted of passing forged money orders while his appeal to the U.S. Court of Appeals.
Am I right, guys? Don't we just want now? We want to know about how it pertains to the Idaho case, right? Hit the like button if that's what we're waiting for.
U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit was pending. Gilligo's counsel discovered new evidence. This evidence indicated that the prosecution failed to disclose that it promised a key witness immunity from prosecution in exchange for testimony.
He's still on this confidential informant thing when it didn't even say confidential informant. He's thinking he needs to reread it,
Against Gilligo. The district court denied Gilligo's motion for a new trial, finding that the error did not affect the verdict. Court's appeal affirm. In this prosecution's failure to disclose a promise of immunity made a key witness grounds for a new trial. Conclusion. Yes, Chief Justice Warren E. Berger, writing in a unanimous court, reversed the conviction and remanded that the case for a new trial. The Supreme Court held that the evidence of the agreement was relevant to the witness credibility because of the new evidence affected the witness's credibility, and the prosecution's case rested mostly entirely on the witness's testimony. The original trial violated due process and entitled Gilligo a new trial. And so, basically, in this case,
I just want to take a minute to thank all my my members. Kim, Ray, Troll. There's too many of I can't remember all of you top of the head, but you know who you are. Paula, Bodega Lady, all you guys. You know who you are. I appreciate you guys. And if you want to become a member, just hit that join button. It's 3 different tiers. Anybody can afford it.
They use the witness but they didn't disclose that they gave him immunity. And so, in my opinion, when you look at both of them, I still think that it's perhaps maybe the actions of an officer that got him put on.
Okay, here we go. See, okay, this is what I'm talking about. He's thinking
on IA on
he's thinking that where it says in the form of a confidential internal affairs investigation is hereby submitted in camera to the court. He's thinking that this says confidential informant. He's not he's not getting that it says internal affairs.
Internal affairs investigation.
Okay, he just read it.
Because it says here, did states become aware of a potential Brady Gilligo material related to one of the officers in the above referenced case? This material in the form of a confidential internal affairs investigation.
Okay, he just read it. Maybe he's just realizing. Let's see.
And so the material that they found was that he's a part of an internal affairs investigation. Now, what caused that internal affairs investigation is it's up for debate.
Okay, so yeah, now it's clicking in his head now. It's got the mouse is running on the wheel.
Like, for instance, if he was lying about something else in a different case, or was found to have been lying, or not being truthful, or was found of perjury in a different case, then all of his cases will become in question because
everything I said in the first 2 minutes
of the fact that he's no longer considered to be honest. And so
now, at this point, he's just going over the same thing for 7 minutes.
That's where I'm thinking that this is going.
I have learned nothing about the Kohberger case so far. I have only heard the definition of the Brady and Giglio 3 times repeated.
But there does.
But that's why this is we're doing Clown Wednesdays, Drunk turkey every Wednesdays now. So
come the question, another confidential informant. Now let's read forward.
Where are you getting another confidential informant? Where is this coming from, Dan? Where did you just read that?
On what this says.
Somebody put in the comments where he's getting a confidential informant from.
I hereby certify true and correct copy of the foregoing notice of Brady disclosure and request for protective order. Nothing there. All right, so this is this says here, and this matter came before the court on March 14, 2023. The state's motion to temporarily seal the stipulation to release property and release documents pending hearing pursuant to ICAR 32. The hearing was held in Zoom. Let's just see if there's anything of importance. Let me see. Right trial. Yeah, that's stuff we've seen. All right. Yeah, hereby.
Dude, guys, this video is literally almost over, and we have learned nothing at all.
Order all items and property and evidence of 1122 King Road, Moscow, Idaho, currently in possession of the party, state evidence, property attached Exhibit A, defense evidence, property attached Exhibit B, shall remain in their respective custody and control until further agreement to the parties' order of court, except for the following items which the parties stipulate can be released. Remaining personal property of Madison Mogan, Xana Cronulla, Ethan Chapman, and Kaylee Gonsalves.
Chapin. I mean, but if you don't know how to pronounce these 4 individuals, victims' names by now, then what are you doing, man?
BF and DM, obviously Bethany and Dylan. And I think that there's only one other piece of document that is of relevance. And it's this one. It's right here. It says this the above matter
Okay, so let me read this title for you that they put one more time. Police corruption could get off on a technicality or framed. Okay? So you didn't go into anything. You just read this document, Dan. Like, what? Does anybody else get this? Or am I just the only one confused? Right? It can't just be me.
having come to before the pursuant court to the state's notice of
Here we go. He's reading it again.
Brady, disclosure and request for protective order of the court, having reviewed the same and good cause appearing, it is hereby ordered the state shall disclose the documents appended under seal the state of notice of Brady, disclosure request for protective order filed on March 27, 2023, pursuant to ICR. For the order, the except provided in further going paragraph, the
foregoing
parties and counsel shall not disclose the documents, or the counsel therefore authorized by the court. 3/27/23. So that was yesterday. We signed off. So basically what they said was that the court agreed to and basically is ordering the prosecution to hand over that documents of that internal affairs investigation on
Okay, so that's all we learned.
The officer. I mean, this could be a big thing, guys. It really could.
Well, explain it to us, Dan.
And it could be.
That's why you got 30,000 subscribers. That's why they are, subscribed to you, because you're supposed to be, giving your opinions, not just reading word for word off of the page. I mean, come on, man. Let's get it together here, bud.
Equal out to a technicality. It could equal out to somebody planning evidence. It could equal out to somebody.
It could equal out to a pig flying over the moon, Dan. What do you think? What's going on here, bud?
Framing Kohberger. That's been something that's been out there quite a bit.
Okay, what's your opinion on this, Dan? Do you think Kohberger was framed? What do you think? I don't think he was framed. I'll give you my opinion. I think Kohberger murdered all four. I think a police officer maybe, since this case is getting national attention, might have done something maybe not exactly down to the letter, and maybe the defense is trying to do everything they can to try and get Kohberger, they're trying to defend the guy, right? They got to do something. But bottom line, in my opinion, this is going to have nothing to do, it's not going to make a big splash at all. I think Kohberger is going to be convicted and sentenced to at least life in prison, and possibly get the firing squad. So let's hear from Daniel. This is his video. I'm just reacting to Dan. This is,
A lot of questions, more questions.
Well, answer some of them. Try to give us something, Dan.
And answers. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Where do you guys think that this?
What do you think? What do you mean?
Do you think that there's a confidential informant? Do you think somebody planted evidence? Do you think that?
Why didn't you answer any of these questions? This is your video, buddy. But he's just going into his closing now. But anyway, Clown Wednesdays, you see why. I mean, I don't even know. I don't have to spell it out for you guys. You guys are smart. If you liked it, hit that like button. And until next time, you know what it is. True Crime King, out.